Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Madam, and I'm coming back to you once again. This time, we're going to go over to the Latin Times, and this is in the crime section. It says GOP lawmaker leading Epstein probe says FBI is holding the 20 names of suspect clients. I will list the article right and all of the details in the description as usual. After 2 days of questioning before Congress, FBI Director Kash Patel repeatedly denied allegations that he is concealing evidence in the investigation into the Jeffrey Epstein's SEX trafficking network. In appearances before both the Senate and the House Judiciary Committee, Patel said the FBI has no credible evidence implicating others in the Epstein ring. Any allegations that I am part of a cover up to protect a child sexual trafficker and victims of human trafficking and sexual crimes are false, Patel said. But according to a report from the Miami Herald, Representative Tom Massey, a Republican from Kentucky who has led the effort to force the release of more than Epstein files, claims the FBI holds a list of at least 20 individuals tied to Epstein. The list allegedly includes prominent figures in the music industry, finance, politics, and banking. Massey told the House Judiciary Committee that those files were used by the U.S. Attorney's Office of the Southern District of New York, and it contains summaries of interviews with both witnesses and suspects. Massey said the files name one Hollywood producer worth a few $100 million, one royal prince, one high profile individual in the music industry, one very prominent banker, one high profile government official, one high profile former politician, one owner of a car company in Italy, one rock star, one magician, and at least 6 billionaires, including a billionaire from Canada. We know these people exist in the FBI files, the files that you control. As reported by the Washington Examiner, Massey started the FBI 302 reports from the 2019 case in New York appears to identify at least 20 men allegedly involved in trafficking underagers through Epstein's network. During the hearing, he asked Patel whether investigations have been opened against any of the individuals named or whether Patel had reviewed all of the documents. Patel responded that multiple U.S. attorney offices under 3 different presidential administrations have examined the files and found no prosecutory evidence or prosecutory leads. He also said he had not personally read every one of the 302 reports, and related that the names of the victims are not made public. Pressed by Massey on how the FBI can claim there is no new names when the files allegedly exist, Patel said that the materials have been reviewed in full by several authorities. However, he did not confirm having personally seen every document. Massey also asked whether any case files exist that shows Epstein potential ties to the CIA. Patel responded that he would review any um, interagency material made available, but did not confirm whether such files were in his possession. As reported by The Hill earlier this week, one Republican senator speaking on the condition of anonymity told the outlet it is only a matter of time before Congress passes legislation requiring the Department of Justice to release the Epstein files. A whole bunch of them have been very vocal about this. Most of the Freedom Caucus has been, the senator said. The problem for some of these folks is that this has been an issue for a while. Separately, a group of Epstein victims announced earlier this month plans to compile and release their own list of individuals that alleged were involved in Epstein's network. During a press conference on September 3rd, a group of survivors said that they have been gathering evidence, including emails, flight logs, and personal accounts. They intend to compile their own list if authorities continue to withhold the official one. We know the names, Lisa Phillips, one of the Epstein survivors, told reporters. We're been compiling a list of our own. If they are not going to release the list to the public, we'll compile our own list and seek justice on our own. And that is the end of the article right there. Let me just say, first and foremost, all the stuff that's going on, and I'm going to speak about as briefly before I make any of my opinions in regards to this article. Everything that's going on with Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert, um, other people that are being doxxed, other people that are being reported for no reason for just utilizing their First Amendment right. Um, it is critical right now that everyone, and I do mean everyone, that values the First Amendment to please protect the First Amendment. Please do not let them uh, wash out this. This is not right. It's not fair. And that's not the basis of our country. To take away the First Amendment means that it's the possibility of gutting every other constitutional right that we have that currently exists. Whether it's being currently dismantled or trying to be dismantled or it is intact for now, we all have an obligation to, protect the Constitution because that is the one thing that holds this country together, regardless of what your political views or party lines are. This should be a thing of importance to everyone. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to go into my opinion about this Epstein file thing. The 302 was never released. Um, the majority of the Epstein files have not been released. If I had to name like examples, the financials of it hasn't been released, the names of the people that hasn't been released, and in my opinion, I believe that only the 20 names are the tip of the iceberg. Um, 20 names, we hadn't even heard about 20 names about 3 years ago. Even at the beginning of this year, we hadn't heard that it was 20 potential names, which Massey, I did watch a little bit of it, and he did name at least one person. Um, so, you know, that's another thing. The thing is that everything that's going on around with the attack on the First Amendment and the attack on Lisa Cook and the attack on Letitia James and the attack on other individuals is basically, in my opinion, this political retaliation for a perceived threat or a perception that they have harmed the administration or they have harmed Trump personally. And again, I can't speak to it, but I don't think that these people were in the wrong for simply doing their job. They're qualified to do their job. They haven't had any issues prior to any other administration that they were working under. And it's just real convenient that now they have these issues with mortgage fraud and coming to find out some of the people that were accusing them, their families actually benefited from the accusations that um, actually, you know, they're being accused of. So at the end of the day, eh, it just feels like a distraction. It just feels like, well, if we're not going to attack them at this end, if we can't get them at this end, we're going to try to work at this end. If we're not going to get at this end, it's like multiple sides that they're working from. And, if us as the American people let up for one moment, whether it be the Epstein files, whether it be the First Amendment, whether it be funding for healthcare, Medicare, whether it be funding for critical services like mental health or healthcare for veterans, mental health care for veterans, having them get the service that they need for women and children, and other services that are pivotal for the American people. You know, it still needs to be harped on. Even if you sound like a broken record, just know that it is not in vain. Um, you know, you cannot let this pass. You cannot let this pass. As American people, I know a lot of us. Some people they work paycheck to paycheck. Some people have other certain sets of circumstances that they have in terms of how they take care of themselves for a living. Um, my suggestion to everybody is just block out what everybody else is saying. And when I say that, I say mega, because it's always the oldies but goodies for them. I'm tired of, doing this and I'm tired of doing that, when really in actuality, blue states fit most of the money in taxes, so much more than red states, and red states are the ones that actually benefit the most from what they try to flip and say that blue states receive, which is government, what they call it, government welfare or whatever the case is. But I digress from that. Um, this shouldn't be a thing about who does what does who, and all the old stereotypes and tropes and talking points. They're trying to push this thing with Antifa. Antifa, to my knowledge, is not really even a thing. It was way back, and pretty, from my understanding, it was before a lot of us was born. So it's this thing with Antifa. It's this thing with the assassin that did what he did, and now he has been in custody, and they're trying to push the narrative that it's you know he was Antifa. He was the sir wasn't from what they're talking about. He didn't grow up, and he wasn't taught that. He was a Republican conservative Mormon. He, was raised up in that background. So it's not, you're not going to flip it and say, hey, you know, this guy was Antifa, this guy was this, that, or the third. No. As far as all of these prosecutions, I can simply say it's no different than the local police. Around a certain time of the year or a certain time of the month, they have to fill quotas. But it's much more than quotas that the FBI is filling. This is for bragging rights. This is for talking rights. This is for political stunt. Most of these people, yeah, they have made arrests, so they are investigating people. But if I had to guess about it or assume, I would say that a lot of those cases are going to be thrown out because it's going to be protected by the First Amendment. We have the right to criticize our government, regardless of who's in office. That says it clearly in the Constitution that we have that right, and we should do everything to fight for it because our very lives depend on it. Everything that is being done, our lives depend on it. Our way of being depends on it. So it's a hard fight, but it won't last forever. And truth will prevail. My only reservation about it is that I hope that what has already been done is able to be undone. The lives that it has ruined already, the reputations that it has ruined already, the jobs that have been lost, may they not be lost in vain, may none of it be lost in vain in history. But that's about it, you guys. I want to thank you so much for watching my videos. I truly do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. If you feel compelled to comment and exercise your First Amendment right, drop down in the comment section. I love to chop it up with you. Um, no issue there. I love to hear back. I love the feedback. But with that, you guys, I'm going to head on out. Again, I thank you so much. And always remember, be good to yourself first. And the First Amendment is not just the right of some, it's the right of all. Woke up, looking for the blade, I keep a horn, no, that can be the CIP, pushing the blueprint,